Thank you for staying with us. This is the Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Now we move into other matters, politics at the national level. A lot has been going on. The general election is in 2027, comes up in 2027. Well, here we are in 2025 talking about the election because it seems as though our leaders are preoccupied with, campaigning, politicking, horse trading just to position themselves for the 2027 general elections. Right now in the nation, with the APC as the ruling party, the incumbent, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have the PDP, which is supposed to be the major opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, but their ranks have been depleted seriously. Some political watchers have described the party as having a cancer. They might require some, extraordinary oncologists to fix the party. But the PDP members have said, no, they are still strong. They still have the name. They still have the brand. They are still a force to reckon with in Nigeria. Then we have a third horse in the race right now, the new coalition bride, the ADC. The ADC has started gaining momentum. Of course, we have people like Senator David Mark, former Senator David Mark, who is the National Secretary, and of course, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, who is the National Secretary, rather, David Mark as acting chairman. And of course, we have three major contenders for the ticket, presidential ticket of the ADC: Atiku Abubakar, Mr. Peter Obi, and of course, Rotimi Amaechi. There have been rumors that Mr. Peter Obi might leave the ADC. Some people have actually said that the ADC was actually set up just for Atiku Abubakar. The ADC have come out to refute those claims, saying they would have free and fair primaries and the best man would get the ticket. Talking about the PDP going into the 2027 elections, some calculations are being made right now. Recall that Atiku Abubakar resigned from the PDP and officially joined the ADC. Before now, some political watchers have said that Atiku Abubakar was actually part of the problems, challenges of the PDP because of his ambition, unrelenting ambition to be Nigeria's president. Now that Atiku Abubakar is no longer in the picture, the PDP is trying to woo Mr. Peter Obi to come back to the party. Mr. Peter Obi was actually formerly a member of the PDP. He left in May 2022. Before then, let's take it back to 2019. In 2019, Mr. Peter Obi was Atiku's running mate in the 2019 election. They lost to the incumbent, Muhammadu Buhari. Then in May 2022, Mr. Peter Obi left the PDP. He joined the Labour Party, became the flag bearer for the Labour Party in the 2023 general election. And in that election, Mr. Peter Obi had 6.1 million votes. That was no small feat. By any means, he had 6.1 million votes without governors, without senators, without House of Rep members, without a structure. I remember they used to say the Labour Party is a party without structure, that how can Obi win without any structure? Yet he went ahead to secure 6.1 million votes. Now Nigerians are saying, some political observers are saying, if he could do that without any structure, what if he joins the PDP that has a structure already, that he will stand a better chance? And one of the founding members of the PDP, Professor Jerry Gardner, has come out to say that if Mr. Peter Obi should return to the PDP, he stands a better chance of winning. That if he could get more than 6.1 million votes, then of course, with the PDP having 12 governors, he would do better. Recall that at the 2023 elections, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu won with 8.7 million votes. Atiku Abubakar had 6.9 million votes. Mr. Peter Obi had 6.1 million votes. If you add Atiku Abubakar's votes and Peter Obi's votes, you have about 13 million votes in the 2023 elections. So imagine that they were together and they got that 13 million votes. Of course, they would have defeated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu by a wide margin. Going back to the previous election, that's of 2019, when they ran together on the joint tickets, Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar had 11.2 million votes then. So 2023 was actually an improvement. But right now, we have Atiku Abubakar, who has left the PDP, Now with the ADC, and the PDP is actually considering having Peter Obi come back to the party because they believe he stands a better chance to win on their platform. Join us on the conversation this morning. We have Barrister Moses Obaditon, a public affairs analyst and, of course, a legal practitioner. Thank you, Barrister Obaditon, for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure having you. And also join us via Zoom, we have Mr. Dr. Kach Ononuju. I beg your pardon. Dr. Ononuju is joining us via Zoom this morning. Good morning, Dr. Kach.
Thank you very much for having me.
Always a pleasure having you. Dr. Kach Ononuju is the DG of Heritage Center, Abuja. He's also a political analyst, a public affairs analyst. I'd like to start with you, Dr. Ononuju. I believe you heard the introduction of that topic, talking about the PDP and the consideration of having Mr. Peter Obi return to the party. The PDP believes that Mr. Peter Obi stands a better chance if he returns to the party. What do you make of the whole situation right now?
Well, it's a very good, it's a good chapter in the story because it was inside the PDP that we started this crisis. We were in the party, and after Atiku and Co. returned back from the APC, we zoned in 2019 the presidency to the north. And that's why nobody from the south competed alongside him and others, Tambuwal and Co. in Port Harcourt and Atiku a March. I traveled to 34 states with him as a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. Now, our problem started when, after 8 years of Buhari enjoying the presidential pendulum that swung to the south-north, when it got to the turn for the south, for the pendulum to come back, Atiku Abubakar led some other people to say no, that their own personal ambition should be better and more important than the national calculus of North and South. And even in the APC, you had the same thing, and some people were promoting Ahmed Lawal. And this is a crisis. So we, out of anger, left the PDP, floated the youth movement, and when Peter Obi, after we had hunted him, agreed to serve as our leader, the Obedient movement was born. Now, the movement was principally a movement that insisted for inclusion of Nigeria's diversity in its governance. And then, now that they have asked us to come back, the PDP has now made good by zoning the presidencies to the south as a way to now solve that problem, which cost me and Doyin Ukukpe to start that movement. And then, yes, Peter has now started speaking to the PDP because they have done that vote. Whereas Mr. Atiku Abubakar has left the PDP and has gone to form the ADC with a lot of the APC's angry people who are members of the original CPC bloc. So they are now in the ADC. But a lot of the elders of the North who were in the PDP that supported Abubakar are now inside the PDP, like you say, Jerry Gana, Babangida Aliyu. All of them now are speaking to Peter Obi inside the PDP. So you also now have also the Buhari fundamentalists who are with Mr. El-Rufai. And Peter Obi is now speaking to all of them. And you will see a great coordination by President Obasanjo. Last weekend, we were all at Abeokuta, and he was trying to bring these four groups together. Of course, there are also some other people outside, but who Obasanjo has very good access to and grip to, like the Kwankwaso group. So we're talking to everybody. There is no group that will gain advantage.
All right.
At the end of the day, as Peter is talking to the different people, the uniting of the opposition is still the icing on the cake. Because you can't just, as you've now explained, about Peter Obi getting 6 million votes plus. Atiku Abubakar with the PDP governors got 12 million votes plus. And if you add it all, that would be good. So now that the PDP are talking to him, he also speaks to the ADC. He also has been seen going around the country with El-Rufai. And Obasanjo is talking to the other people. It makes sense. At the end of the day, no one group will get it all. All of them, my advice this morning, get ready. You will all come together into one canopy as your position. Because the important thing to do is now that they have agreed that the pendulum stay in the south, is to unite the opposition. Once your opposition are united together, then you can now go to battle. If you go divided, it will not work. But the good thing is, a lot of the proportion of the northern elders, up to 90% of them, have agreed that it shall not stay in the south. So those who are holding out, it makes sense to be talking to them. In time, once they see the bulk of their support in 2023 are now saying, go to the south with Mr. Peter Obi, it's only a matter of time for them to also come in. And then Peter Obi, having time, more time than he had before, can now negotiate power with them. Because the last time when we said this, we were only 8 months to election. So now we have more time to election, thanks that the APC started the campaigning very earlier, forcing everyone else to join them. So
all right.
What I'm trying to say is, what we're going to have is a full bag of all the 4 platforms which we have now identified coming together under Peter Obi, then we will go to election.
All right,
That's
Dr.
what we'll
Lonju.
have.
Yeah, I'll come back to you. Let me come to you, Barrister or Baditon, at this time. Looking at the political space in Nigeria, now we have a third horse in the race, that's the ADC, and they are gaining momentum, serious momentum. If you look at these figures, the strongest figures in the ADC, I dare say ADC because Peter Obi is still talking to the opposition, just like Dr. Lonju just said. Atiku Abubakar is a strong politician. Peter Obi too is strong. Okay, at the last election, Atiku got 6.9 million votes. Peter Obi got 6.1. So these two men are strong. If you add that together, like I said before, that will give you about 13 million votes. But now it seems as though it has become almost impossible for them to work together because Atiku has his own ambition. And the obedient movement, the supporters of Peter Obi, are against him running on a joint ticket again with Atiku, saying, no, why should you do that? You should be able to stand on your own. My question is this, Barrister Obadito. Are you afraid that we might actually see a replay of what happened at the last election? Mind you, after that election, some supporters of Bola Ahmed Tinubu came out to thank Peter Obi, saying that, oh, thank you, that you actually helped us win this election. If you have not run on your own, perhaps we might not have won. So they were actually thanking Mr. Peter Obi for dividing the vote. So do you see this playing out again in 2027?
No, I do not see it. You see, in politics, 2 plus 2 is not 4. In politics, you have to put in some strategy, deception, and a lot of sense. If you look at Obi, the fact that the PDP are saying you are the best person, we have even decided we are going to pick candidate from the South. For somebody who is not matured in politics, will have jumped and go to PDP. But he's taking his time. He's also working with the Labour. At the same time, he has not left ADC. You have seen his meeting. And not only that, there are some things that is favorable to Obi. Number 1, Section 58 of the PDP's constitution agree that there are going to be shifts in what we call power rotation. And when the issue came up in 2023, Atiku refused because he has a deep pocket. And as a result, you can see where it landed. But this time around, I think the PDP realized at a point in time that they even saying PDP is there. We are approaching one-party system, and there's nothing. Then all of a sudden, this come from the blue. And you can see what the first person you interviewed said, that they call them aspire, frustrated politicians. If they were people of no substance, if it is I and you, they would have ignored because they know nobody knows us. Let me also tell you that even when Obi in 2023 was approaching the election, you know what they said? He has no structure.
Absolutely.
And they have forgotten that the president of France, Macron, has no structure.
Emmanuel Macron.
He mobilized and he surprised them. Even in Lagos, for the past 25 years, nobody dare look at the lion. He went to the lions then and he survived. So in summary, the election of 2027 is not going to be like that. they are likely to be a coalition within coalition. What do I mean? The PDP who have realized their mistake, they are likely to expel some individuals who are more of a stumbling block. Then they will have to realize that no tree makes forest. Now the person who has given them headache, Atiku, has left. The news we heard was that Atiku was behind the, maybe the revival of ADC. It's likely not to agree because as at that time, he was going to be about 80 years old. He see this as his last chance. So if Obi cleverly handle him, by the time he'll be moving to a area or platform he's going to contest, he's likely to take some large portion from ADC, who share the philosophy that power ought to be rotated. Even constitutionally, if you look at section 14, it talks about that in the process of power division, it should not be concentrated in a particular place. The same thing in section 16 talking about the economy. It shall be evenly distributed. So if in line with the constitution of both the PDP, the ADC, are now saying, though, this thing should rotate, and Atiku Abubakar relying on money, or perhaps maybe he felt this is my last chance, will be my running mate, and people are now saying, even for equity purpose, since the Civil War is now about 55 years that he has ended. It ended in 1970. Nobody from the East has tasted that power. And if there's anybody so close to it, it's Obi. So, number one, there are going to be a lot of advantage on the side of Obi in any platform he goes. You are making mention that the APC were thanking the PDP. Then, the situation was not as this. Number one, we were given that there is a doctor in town. And that doctor is the one that handled the patients in Lagos. And he has done a lot. He has turned the places and is the one Nigeria needed. And then he came on board. How far? Is Nigeria still sick? How's the economy? How's the political situation? How's the security? So most of the people who voted for APC, I'll have to have a rethink. Do we continue with the situation today? Yesterday, the American representatives were saying that the way the Nigerian politicians handle the resources was not palatable. And that in the midst of poverty, hardship, they're building government houses instead of building the people.
Yeah, fiscal recklessness.
Fiscal recklessness. So there are some people who are likely to look at the man who has been giving them some data and say, this is what he's done. I was reading just yesterday, Albert Merkel, the former Chancellor of Germany. I looked at her performance for 18 years.
Angela Merkel, right?
Yes, sir. They were asking her, do you have house? He said, no. How do you handle your domestic? He said, I am a husband. How do you say we use washing machine? How about this one? She lives in the house.
As German Chancellor.
As a German Chancellor. Remember, the economy, I think, is maybe the best in the world. And if you look at their GDP, you can't compare with us. So when you look at that one, the world is a global village, and people are learning. Among these people who are going to election, can we find those who are prudent? Can we find those who can manage this economy and turn it around? Let's even leave Germany. Let's go to South Africa. The South Africa inflation rate is 4%. In Britain, it's 3%. Our own is about 27%. In fact, yesterday, people call it 32%. So will this man who said, I have the indices, I have this, I have that, than those who reign or ruled by rhetorics? So that's why I said the story in 23 is different, because the people are hearts. They have been pushed to the wall, and they are likely to vote without looking at ethnic factor. Yeah, I see some who will say it's our brother. This one is not. But then, if we are going to get it right, if equity is going to be the thing, there must be a meeting of the mind among the three leading political parties. I was telling some people when people were rushing to APC, I said, assuming this is a room meant for 10 people. There's suddenly 100 people come there. They are going to be, why are you stepping on me? Who take this one? So expect some explosion in where people have been migrating and that kind of thing. So don't think it's only PDP that's going to have a problem. The ADC will have its own. But in the midst of it, that's why I said 2 + 2 in politics is not 4. So this realignment, this reorganization, and those who put Nigerian interests first are likely to come together. So it's not going to be just come back to PDP. He's going to sit down, discuss with them, agree on what's to be done, where he's going to consider what he's going to do. So the game has just started. So nobody can write anybody off. So if you think ADC are just this one, wait and see. The PDP too that have written off, they said they have cancer. Cancer, people have discovered medicine for cancer. You either go through surgery or so many other medicine that can be used. So no one is over. And it is not over. Look at the Falcons football. The first half was 2-0. In fact, many people have left and said, what a nation. And then another report has even reported. But see the coming back. So the game is on. But let's wait and see how they are going to apply strategy, scheme, and wisdom in arriving at the goal.
All right. Coming back to you, Dr. Ononuju, let's take a look at the PDP right now. Apart from the PDP trying to woo Mr. Peter Obi, Yunus Atanko, the national coordinator of the Obedient Movement, has stated that about 6 other parties are also trying to woo Mr. Peter Obi, to be their flag bearer to join their party. The question is, how do you see this playing out? And another question, Dr. Kaj, is the fact that PDP, some part of the PDP are also considering someone like former President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Some people believe he also stands a chance if he runs under the platform of the PDP. Do you have any insight into that?
I can tell you straight away, those are dreams of some people from the north who are afraid of Peter Obi, whether he would do single term or not. He has stated at the weekend that his single term proposal is as solid and as believable by anybody and should be taken to the bank. So he has stated it at the weekend in the face of the distraction from Governor Soludo, who seems not to be running for governor of Anambra second time. He seems to want to run against Peter Obi for president. So that's the shadow candidate who's not in the race but wants to be seen in the race. I want to tell you, as people have stated, as I told you earlier, a lot of bodies are coming to run with Peter Obi. But Peter Obi's main job right now is to find how to unite them. And that's why it is good that people, it is good that elder statesmen like Obasanjo have now stepped in and have now started trying to bring all those different groups to come together so that they can now sit and work with him. I want to say that don't worry yourself about these people who are coming. Just bear it in mind that all these different groups who are trying to approach Peter Obi, that what will happen is that Peter Obi is going to bring them together and then try to unify the opposition. That is where we're going to. I say it again. Different groups will be approaching Peter Obi. Peter Obi's job right now, as he's being currently assisted right now by President Obasanjo, is to bring all those groups together, because you only gain when you unify your position. So be it Atiku's people, be it the people of Kwankwaso, be it the people of Erufai and the Buhari fundamentalists, be it the people of the old supporters of Atiku in the PDP, who now are in the PDP and speaking to Peter Obi, and of course these different parties you're calling. The game is Peter Obi intends to unify them so that the opposition becomes one block before you go forward. So what I will advise all the people who think the acrobatics is come there and steal the structure, no. We built the obedient structure, so anybody who loves it should think about coming there to become part of it, and not coming there to now make his own platform, capture the obedient movement. It will not work. Because if you look at some of these people coming, were the people who called us saboteurs. Don't forget that. They called us names when we broke off the PDP to form the movement. So now that they like the movement, they should all stop, because most of them have personal ambition in their states. So they might think seizing the movement will now give them control to go home and seize. You know, these are structure ahead. So you're going to see people of structure coming from everywhere thinking they own the structure, and that is it. Just like you saw Atiku Abubakar and a member of the CPC who now got the ADC, thinking that will be a structure which they will now use to pocket Peter Obi, it will not work. Let everybody go home and start thinking of how to accommodate the other people. We intend to build a unified opposition. That is the way forward.
All right.
Whatever the group is, yes.
Dr. Nonju, you also raised the fact, you reiterated that fact that Peter Obi saying he will spend a single term in office. I'd like to take you up on that. A lot of political observers and analysts have said, why would Mr. Peter Obi even consider a single term in office? Why is he limiting himself to that? And here's the point. When Goodluck Jonathan left office, when Buhari came in, Buhari never pledged to spend a single term. He still had his 8 years. So Goodluck, the South, never finished their 8 years back then, before Buhari came and did 8 years. So why is Mr. Peter Obi now pledging to serve a single term? Why is he taking it upon himself to make that promise? Do you see it as a sign of desperation?
No. When Nelson Mandela said he would do a single term, he had a mind of what he wanted to achieve as president, and he believed a single term was enough for him to achieve it. That single term, he came there, he embedded peace. He made sure that nobody will come to the presidency like Buhari came and will start pursuing revenge. So Mandela laid that groundwork of don't pursue revenge, because once you start pursuing revenge like Buhari did, you end up destroying your country and damaging your presidency. Nobody ever gets to the presidency to start doing like Buhari, pursuing revenge. Secondly, when Buhari was coming in, he said he would do a single term. That was what he told Atiku and Co. They believed him. But once he got in, he started preparing for multiple term, and that was when Atiku now left the APC and came back to the PDP. So, but for you to understand, presidents like Abraham Lincoln and other people did a single term. If you have your vision for what you want to achieve for your country, and you think you can achieve that in a single term, you can come in and achieve it and then go, and your legacy will remain with you. That has happened in the United States. We've seen it. It has happened in South Africa. We have seen it. Great men don't use 10 years to do what they want to do. They come in and in a single term achieve that thing that would define their legacy. I think that's where it is. That's the way we should see it in Peter. People like Peter Obi don't come in every generation. He has come now, and we are all clamping to go use him to fix our country. If he says what he wants to achieve for the country, he can do it in a single term. I believe him. And that's what we're looking at.
All right, Dr. Nonju. I'll come back to you, Barrister Obadito. Like I just said before, the PDP, of course, they're in talks with several people, but majorly Mr. Peter Obi. And some factions in the PDP still believe someone like Goodluck Jonathan stands a chance with the party. What's your own impression on that? Look at Goodluck Jonathan's antecedents while he was in office. He was quite a peace-loving man and all that. Do you see him at this point listening to those Northerners and saying, oh, this might just be the right time for me to come back?
Let me take off from where Dr. Nonju stopped. The issue of spending one term could be strategy, and it could be possibility. For example, Bola Tinubu is spending one of the terms the South are entitled to. If we decide to go to the second term of 8 years, the North will be kicking. It's likely to have seen, the man is the way he sees things, not the way everybody.
Yeah, but I gave an example of Jonathan, who never, finished the 8 years, and the Northerner came in.
So then the issue of people winning Northern, there are people who have seen Obi coming, and they first let's frustrate him by bringing in Jonathan. And Jonathan himself, he was privileged. He served when Yaradua died. He contested in 2011 and won. But then he didn't get it right, economically and politically. Even at a point in time, the wife was more in action than himself. So if he's coming in time like this, when the economy has nosedived, when the insecurity is all over, it's not likely to sail through. They just want to use it to divert attention.
As a form of distraction.
Yeah, distraction to bring him. And even the wife of Jonathan said, don't come. We will go and campaign for APC than coming to your end. So if you look around the way things are going in Nigeria, We do more politicking than governance. People today, they are not looking only at maybe this one has been the vice president, that one is the president. They are looking at how do we bring food to the table. If you look around, there was a time they were comparing, the remuneration, how much people were taking at a point in time, how they were able to sustain. Now, even the minimum wage 70,000 on a realistic level. Remember, it's not everybody that's working for government.
Absolutely.
How far can it take? In time like this, especially between May and August, used to be a period of harvest. When farmers do not have access to farm, how would they be able to harvest? And yet we are talking of insecurity. People are being slaughtered on a daily basis. People in their home, not because they fought, and yet we have people. And then when we look around, has there been country faces? Yeah, Mexico faced it. And they were able to sail through. Even Germany, at a point in time, they were able to sail through. So people are looking for solution to the present Nigerian crisis, which is insecurity and economy. And somebody made us to realize that one economy table, nothing you can do. Even politicking. If you are going for a campaign and they say they have bombed this place, they have sent this up, will you go? So these are some of those indices that's going to make people to look beyond Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan, when he was there, he tried, but his own was not the best so far. You made mention of Buhari, that when Buhari came, he said, going to be this, I'm a man of all the people. We knew he eventually was the father of nepotism. The present government is being accused of nepotism. So will people allow nepotistic to continue? Should we not look for a square peg in the square hole so that's to turn things around? Let's look at Brazil. Brazil, at a point in time, things were so bad. And eventually somebody came on board and got it right. The economy was supposed to. It does not really matter. Let's leave Brazil. Let's go to Ghana. Now I say Nigeria must go. About 30 years ago, or even more, they said Nigeria must go. That was in 1970. When Sheikh Shagari came, say Ghana must go. Why are they going? Because they are better placed economically. Somebody sing the song. How shall we pray? A slave in our house. No, that's I think Bogo history. So now people want to know what you are going to do. Not this time around, you are going to give us rhetoric. They want practical way of solving.
And not just propaganda.
No, not propaganda. We have Nigeria have arrived at that situation. So these are some of those things that are going to be on the table. So it's not just, even sometimes you'll be realized by the time maybe the ADC, PDP, somebody will come from the blue because they want to use him as a spoiler. So these are some of the strategies. And remember about two, I told you maybe on this platform that said ADC is not going to be easy because at the point some of them they will wave EFCC card to them. You are there as governor, come and answer. Some will be arrested. And we have seen it in 2014 where they put DSS there and they were shooting and they were denied of campaign. So a lot are still around. So we need people who have spine, people who have courage, people who knows where to do, who have known their onion and how to deliver it to the people. So the 2027 is very interesting.
All right, Barrister Obadito. Let me come back to you, Dr. Ononuju, and this will be your final take. Dr. Ononuju, here's the point. Right now, we have three horses in the race. We have the PDP, you have the APC, number one, the incumbent. You have the PDP that's trying to revive. We have the LP, we have the Labour Party. Let's not wish you a Labour Party because Mr. Peter Obi is still there. Then we have the ADC. But hypothetically speaking, Dr. Ononuju, if the ADC succeeds in putting forward Atiku as their flag bearer for 2027, and the PDP succeeds in getting Peter Obi to represent them. So now again in 2027, we'll be having Bola Ahmed Tinubu from the APC, Atiku Abubakar, ADC, hypothetically speaking, and PDP, Mr. Peter Obi. Dr. Cash, don't you see a replay of 2023 happening again in 2027?
No, you're wrong. You're likely to have a two-horse race. Any way you see it. Right now, what you have is Peter Obi and President Tinubu. That's all you have. The people who Atiku claim disappointed him, that they will follow him to ADC, but refuse to follow him, stay back in the PDP. He cannot go nowhere. He doesn't have that capacity to, galvanize the young people who are now the people insisting on inclusion. He doesn't have any a movement like the obedient movement. Now he can build one at 80 years old. He doesn't know that politics of reaching out to people. No. Atiku's politics is using money to buy delegates. Those things don't work. Please don't be putting him in the calculation. The reason why Peter is talking to him is, you know, once a lady had opened up to you, don't close that channel. Keep talking to her, talking until she said, okay, what if I say yes? Would you give me this game? Then you negotiate power with him.
Give me lessons.
But now that he has seen that all those people who supported him before in 2023 have left him, they are now in the PDP. They are talking to Peter Obi. Even in the ADC coalition, Mr. El-Rufai is talking to Peter Obi. Mark has made it open. He wants Peter Obi. A lot of them in the ADC want Peter Obi. That Atiku has that personal emotion. It doesn't mean nothing. He's a human being. We'll take him along. We'll talk to him. When he sees everything has collapsed, he will come around. And don't forget, Atiku gained inclusion in Nigeria. He became a Nigerian in 1961. And since then has gained strong inclusion. That's what necessitated his rights to becoming a vice president. So he knows it is important to pay back and allow the indigenous Nigerian people.
So Dr. Catch,
now that they want to fix their country.
Sorry to cut in because of time. Do you see a possibility of an Atiku Abubakar eventually supporting Peter Obi? Do you see that possibility anywhere in the line?
That is true. That is. Yes, I see the possibility clear, and that's why I support the game Peter Obi is playing, talking to all the groups. He's not closing any door. He's talking to them, speaking to them, but not committing. The only people, you know, the real reason why we left the PDP as the youth movement was because they refused to zone. Now that the PDP has zoned, Peter is talking to them. And a lot of the elders who supported Atiku then in PDP are still in PDP talking to Peter Obi. So once Atiku says that he's alone, he will come back in. Except he's complaining now that the paper he didn't sign, they said, no, you signed it. That the resignation letter, you signed it, you've resigned. So stay out. With time, when he says that he's alone, I think there can be a first mending strategy to carry him along, carry everybody along. What I'm telling you is, now you've seen about 4 or 5 platforms of opposition. You bring them together. When Peter unifies your position, then he will have a proper group that's united with him. But with some people perching on one gang, with the El-Rufai them and the fundamentalists, with you have another gang, the PDP itself, with the elders who supported Atiku, but now in the PDP, agreeing to zone to the south. Of course, Atiku himself in ADC, with the CPC, angry people who left Tinubu to now enter the ADC. That's what the ADC is. So it is not big enough to form a political party or a stable thing. What Peter did is not what anybody can just do. Atiku can't do that. He doesn't have the strength to start traveling to states to try to meet people, wake up 4 o'clock in the morning,
right.
5 you're flying, by 6 you're there. So I think now that we have a platform that's been built that supports P2B, an organic platform, people by the youth.
All right, Dr. Nonju. Yeah.
Nobody can recreate this.
Thank you so much. We really have to go now. We are totally out of time. Thank you so much, Dr. Catch Nonju, DG Heritage Center, and also a public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure having you join us once again.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure being with you.
And of course, thank you so much to you, Barrister Moses Obadito. Thank you for your time and your take on the program this morning.
Thank you for the privilege of being here.
Absolutely. And to you, our distinguished viewers, I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for joining us once again. Don't forget, you can always check out this conversation on our social media handles at Western Spring Television. Join us again tomorrow for a fresh edition of Morning Spring on Western Spring Television. Emeka Daniel is my name. Do have a wonderful day. Good morning.